WNST enough. He's sequestered down there at the racetrack at Laurel, as the coach once said. And Charlie Ekman, who has now come back to life as a horse. Stan Salter is my dear friend, one-time intern, and now big shot on the televisions down there for Maryland Million Day this weekend. Stanton, always a pleasure to have you on, my friend. Anytime there is festivity around the horse industry, I always like to brag about it and talk about it. And I think my wife's going to put a little hat on and get down there for some fall racing on Saturday with the Maryland Million. Happy racing week to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's a huge week for Maryland racing and the whole Maryland horse racing, the whole Maryland thoroughbred racing and breeding industry. It's Maryland's Day at the Races, the Jim McKay Maryland Million. This Saturday for first race, special first race post time is 12 o'clock. It's a free admission. We're going to have 12 races showcasing Maryland's rich thoroughbred tradition, a bunch of other on-track events, fun for the whole family. The Sutler Post Farm Clydesdales will be here. U.S. Pony Racing, the Goshen Hounds. We'll have a kids' corral, free activities on the apron for the younger fans. We're going to have a Maryland Million hat contest where you can win tickets to next year's Black Eyed Susan Day or Maryland Million Day. We're giving away a free Maryland Million hat. It's a good-looking hat, Nestor, a good-looking Maryland Million hat.
I see it online, man. I clicked on it here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice hat. To the first 4,000 people that buy a Maryland Million program, you get a free hat. And if you like music, if you like the EDM kind of music, a lot of young people will be out here. We're trying to get the Preakness vibe here for the Maryland Million. We have the big Clubhouse Festival. It's a music event featuring Steve Aoki and more. Tickets can be found at clubhousefest.com for that. So just like the Preakness, we're going to have a big concert and a huge crowd for the racing, and some of the best racing you'll see all year long this Saturday at Laurel Park.
Well, let's go backward to the EDM and the music part of this, all right? I mean, what time is that happening on Saturday? I need to know this.
Yeah, that's going on all throughout the afternoon and then into the evening. Now, Deadmau 5, who was the original headliner, he had to back out this week due to some personal reasons. But we still have Steve Aoki. He's a big-time headliner, and a bunch more. They have all the
640 Steve Aoki. But yeah, man, music's starting down there at 12:50. So there's music. Lost King, Sam Felt. The Maryland Million runs at 5:37, right? So that's sort of an old Preakness time, right? Like right around that time of the day. All the Triple Crown race a little later these days, right?
Yep. That'll be the classic going off around then. The Maryland Million Classic going off. What did you say? 5:37. So that's one of 7 big $100,000 plus stake races. Then we have a bunch of other starter stake races. It's a big 12-race card. The stakes action starts early. The stakes action starts in race 3. That's the big Maryland Million Distaff, $100,000 stake for filly and mares. You have a couple nice starter stakes to kick off today. The Maryland Million Classic, that's race 11. So I think the concert, the Clubhouse Festival, they'll take a little bit of a break. All the fans over there will be watching the racing. And what a doozy we have for the Maryland Million Classic. It's a big 10-horse field. All 10 horses, Maryland sired horses. They're sired by stallions that stand here in Maryland. And your 3-1 morning line favored is Saratoga Bob. Saratoga Bob, he's by Frisian Fire. That's one of our top stallions here in Maryland. Stands up at Country Life Farm in Hartford County. Saratoga Bob's trained by Katie Voss. Is going to be ridden by the Hall of Famer Edgar Prado, one of the all-time winningest jockeys in Maryland history. Saratoga Bob was recently 5th in the Fine Stake last out late September here at Laurel Park. Now, that was a real tough stake race. I talked to Saratoga Bob's trainer, Katie Voss, leading up to Saturday's big race, and she says the 4-year-old Maryland bred is doing excellent. So the 3-1 morning line favored, probably going to be my top pick in this year's Maryland Million Classic, Saratoga Bob.
A lot of history here, with sports and sports journalists and local and Jim McKay and his relationship with the track and with the Jockey Club back in the day that made this happen, right? This was a vision of Jim McKay, as I understand it.
Yeah, Jim McKay came home from one of the early Breeders' Cups, and I believe on the flight home, he was talking to his wife about wouldn't it be cool to do something like that in Maryland for Maryland's breeding industry, showcase Maryland's breeding industry on a big day. And he came home and he was talking to the great trainer Bill Boniface, who won the 1983 Preakness with the Maryland bred Deputer Testimony. He was asking Boniface, they're watching some horses train. He said, "Hey, can we do something like this in Maryland?" And Bill Boniface said yes. So Bill Boniface, Jim McKay, they teamed up with Chick Lang, who was running the tracks back then, and they started the Maryland Million. They got the sponsorship to sponsor 10 $100,000 stake races, and it's a program that showcases the Maryland stallions that stand here in Maryland, but it trickles down to the whole breeding industry, and better stallions bring more mares and more foals born here in Maryland. So it's going to be a huge day, and Jim McKay, Bill Boniface, they were the two that got it rolling.
Maryland Million this weekend. Stan Salter's on the line. Stan's been my friend a long, long time. He is MD Horse Radio out on Twitter and down the dial as well, and you can always find him out at the tracks here. And, this time of year, the weather changes a little bit, right? And you talk about the importance of the industry and the thoroughbred racing industry and, some darker times here, and it's bounced back in recent times. Give me a little state of the health of the industry and where the perils are and the good stuff that's happening right now as well.
Well, we still have some challenges ahead of us, and you always have to try to keep pace with your competitor. And like Bill Boniface says, if you're not making progress, you regress. So you have to keep going forward. The industry is thriving right now. We're enjoying an increased foal crop. More stallions, better stallions, more mares. The farm industry is doing well. The farm industry is a huge part of Maryland's overall agricultural industry, and the ag business in Maryland is huge. And the Maryland horse industry is a $2 billion industry a year. So the breeding industry is strong. If you haven't been to Laurel Park recently, you need to come out and check out all the improvements here at Laurel Park. We have the new sports bar here on the second floor of the clubhouse.
By the way, Stan, I've been bragging on that because, I came down, you saw me down there before the Preakness, and I came down, saw the track, saw all the additions, and I was really kind of blown away. I'm really looking forward to coming down on Saturday, putting on something snazzy with my wife. There might even be a baseball game on in the afternoon. There's certainly going to be some college football happening, as well as racing from all over the country, all over the world, really. And the epicenter of all this, really, on Saturday is the Maryland Million. There's going to be music. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've circled it on the calendar. It's a weekend when the Ravens are home, so I'm home. I've been on the road the last month, and I'm just looking forward to having like a nice afternoon. I love the food down there too.
Well, you're a sports bar kind of guy. That's where you want to hang out. They've made it even nicer up there. They'll have all the college football games on. Of course, we'll have the playoff baseball games on. They have about 100, brand new, huge flat screen TVs up there. Now, right next to the sports bar is the new sports book. You want to go check out that, Nestor. You're going to see the biggest flat screen TV in the state of Maryland, probably. That's going to be huge. There's about 100 people up there doing all kinds of stuff this whole week. Check out the new sports book right next to the sports bar. I think you'll be blown away with that.
So I haven't seen that yet, is what you're telling me. That when does that open, or when did that open?
That's going to be open. That's going to be open this Saturday for Maryland Million.
Oh, it's brand new, so nobody's been in it, right?
That's going to be brand new. Yeah,
Oh,
correct.
wow. All right. Well, I am looking forward to that then. Stan Salter here. He is MD Horse Radio. State of the state and jockeys, and you mentioned Edgar Prado and names, and I saw one of these horses is grandsired, I guess, by Crypto Clearance, which was a very famous horse and a Belmont winner one year. So I go back 35 years with all of this and the Preakness and all of these horses, daddies and granddaddies, and these names, but the names on the circuit right now, obviously your dad was a trainer back in the day as well. You mentioned the Boniface family, which has been, it feels like half a century around here, literally. But for the current folks, what are they going to see in terms of jockeys, in terms of trainers, and things they can latch onto that aren't named Charlie Ekman, although there was a horse named Charlie Ekman running Thursday, which I love, by the way.
Well, one of the fan favorites running this week is in the race right before the Classic. That's race 10, the Maryland Million Turf. That's $125,000 stake going a mile on our world-class turf course. And the favorite in that race, I'm just turning my page here, is Flash Phelps. All right, he's the 8-5 morning line favorite. Flash Phelps, he's a Maryland bred by Great Notion. He's a 7-year-old. He's made over $400,000. He's named after a famous DJ on XM satellite radio, Flash Phelps, who's come to see the horse win before. But Flash Phelps, he's trying to become the only horse ever to win this race 3 times. He won the Maryland Million Turf in 2015 and 2016. He's trying to become the only horse to win this race 3 times. Also, he's going to join elite company of horses that have overall won 3 Maryland Million races. Famous horses like Safely Kept and Ben's Cat and 8-2 Fast to Catch. So a win this Saturday for Flash Phelps, the 7-year-old popular Maryland bred for trainer Rodney Jenkins in Hillwood Stable. He was bred by Carol Kay here in Maryland. That's going to put Flash Phelps in elite company if he can get the job done. He's going to be my best bet of the day to win race 10, the Maryland Million Turf. Flash Phelps.
You mentioned the beautiful turf there. This is really a bit of a turf festival, right? I mean, if you think of the Preakness is out on the dirt, which we all do, and we're familiar with that, this is a horse of a different color, green, right?
We're going to have 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to say 5. So we have 12 races, 5 of them are on the turf this Saturday. And, we have a big, huge, world-class turf course, and I think we're having good weather all week long. So, we're going to have some great turf racing. And like I said, race 10, that's the co-feature of the day, the Maryland Million Turf. That's the race right before race 11, the Classic. And like I said, Flash Phelps, he's one of the most popular Maryland breds around. He's been a Maryland bred champion, horse of the year before. And a win this Saturday puts him in even more elite company.
All right, Stan. Well, get ready for us. We're coming down there. Tell me, heat a crab cake up, ice down a couple of beverages. My wife's probably going to get involved in a Bloody Mary or 2. I don't know. But it's going to be a good afternoon, some college football. I love the sports book down there. I'm digging the vibe, and I can't wait to see the say that again. It's the sports book. So this is going to be Vegas-y, right? This is going to be a different animal, right?
Yeah, you're going to be blown away. It's right next to the sports bar. So just go up to the sports bar, and you'll see them. You'll see it right adjacent to the sports bar, the new sports book. It's going to be huge. They got a bunch of nice couches in there, and a huge screen. I mean, it's a huge screen, and that's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product in the new sports book this Saturday.
You know what I'm thinking, dude? I like to get dressed up for Preakness, and with all this global warming going on and climate change and stuff, the Preakness some years is a little wet, but some years it's been a little hot to be like in a suit, you know what I mean? You sweat through it or whatever. I'm digging that Maryland Million is going to be 65 degrees and sunny on Saturday, because I'm gonna go with like the jacket. It's gonna be appropriate, I'm gonna need it. It's gonna feel good to be in a jacket. It's gonna feel good to be in some nice shoes for a day after kind of a long, hot, sort of wet summer, right? This is gonna be a nice fall weekend. I might even have some pie. You find me some pumpkin spice something while I'm down there at the races. What do you think?
Well, yeah, come dressed up. Wear your best, because it's Maryland's Day at the races. It's named in honor of the great Jim McKay. It's going to be a packed house. You have the Maryland Million hat contest, and also you have a best dressed couple from top to toe. So there's a best dressed couple. I think you and Jen should enter in the best dressed couple contest.
Well, that's only up to me and Paul Lamanti to get my hair cut between now and then, because I look like a hippie right now. That's why I'm wearing a hat. Hey, man, be good, Stan. We will see you soon, brother, okay?
All right, we'll see you at Maryland Million. Thanks, Nestor.
MD Horse Radio, the way to find Stan. Obviously, you can always find the entries out on the front of WNST.net as well as in our morning newspaper each and every morning. Served up at 7 a.m. and, of course, brought to you by our friends at Planet Fitness, at planetfitness.com, where it's always $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life. $5 down, $10 a month. That's Planet Fitness. That is our morning newspaper, always with our Laurel entries in them. Love that they had a horse card, Charlie Ekman, running on Thursday. I can hear the coach right now. Give me $5 to win, 5 place, 5 show on that one later. Go to sleep with them cherries. Missed the coach. Coach has been gone now, I guess it'll be 23 years. I don't even know if Stan remembers Charlie Ekman. One day I'm going to ask him about that. Stan does a great job down at the track. Really appreciate our friendships and all the great folks down there for keeping horse racing alive and making it better in the state of Maryland. We'll be down at the Maryland Million on Saturday. You can find me on email, nasty@WNST.net. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.